Raiders want Brady. From the Las Vegas Review-Journal, owner Mark Davis, the reason they benched Derek Carr, they wanted to keep him healthy so they wouldn't have to pay him. It was a health issue, nothing personal, but Mark Davis, the owner, wants a new quarterback. Financial risk of paying him, they benched him. They also have Max Crosby in his prime, Devontae Adams in his prime, Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs. They want to get the most out of those star players. So if the Raiders can't trade him, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, they are willing to cut him, cut Derek Carr, a quarterback. For the D.C. listeners, I like Derek Carr. I think he's a top 12 quarterback, maybe 11 or 12, but I like him. They're going to move on and incur a very small, $5.5 million hard cap hit. So it does say Jimmy Garoppolo is also somebody they'd be interested in. So, Brady and Garoppolo have been in a lot of big games. Derek Carr has not. So there's your story to start the day. They don't have to make some deal for Brady. He's a free agent. They don't have to surrender picks, and they'll probably get a pick for Derek Carr. It is not a perfect fit if Tom Brady went there. Josh McDaniels, he's comfortable with him, and Brady likes comfort, but he's never proven to be a successful head coach. A lot of critics with Josh McDaniels' game management. Lost a lot of leads this year. The defense, the secondary is a mess. They got their first pick should be a corner. Their second pick should be a safety. Their secondary is a mess. O-line's fine, not great, but it's top 12, 13 in the league. But the Raiders do, and this is important, they're the opposite of the Colts. They have holes, but they check the right boxes. Left tackle, Colton Miller, good starter. Star receiver, star edge rusher. Brady would be the star quarterback. Offensive head coach in 2022. So the boxes are checked. They have to go out and get a good corner. They're a mess in the secondary. Other than that, in 2022, there are certain positions. The Colts have a good roster. They don't check some of the key boxes. Raiders check almost all the key boxes, but they got holes on the roster. I also believe the Raiders will get another pick, a second or third round pick for Derek Carr. I mean, are you going to tell me that Derek Carr to stabilize the New York Jets situation is not worth a second or a third round pick? Second and third round picks, 30% of them are busts. Derek Carr's not going to be a bust. Remember, the teams that would want Derek Carr, Indy, the Jets, perhaps Houston, the bad teams, or the teams that won't make the playoffs. Their season's done Sunday. Sunday's January 8th. I know that because tomorrow's my birthday, January 6th. No big deal. No reason to mention it or lather me with attention. There's no reason. So Sunday's January 8th. You got 5 weeks. Never forget Matt Stafford. The Rams got Matt Stafford. Do you know when they made that deal? End of January. They were a good team. All right, so they were a very good team. So I think it's doable. I think it's going to happen. I think the bad teams have plenty of time. And I think Derek Carr, we're going to play a little game next hour where he's going to land. I think there's a lot of places. Derek Carr doesn't get hurt much. Miami's going to consider him. The Jets will consider him. Houston has to consider him. The offseason for the NFL has really replaced the hot stove league in baseball and the NBA free agency. There are going to be so many big moves, many at quarterback. All right, so the rumors on Brady moving. Now the Las Vegas Review-Journal has it sourced. The Raiders want Brady. May have to settle for Garoppolo, but they want Brady. Okay, here's the other set of rumors. Jim Harbaugh, NFL. Now, we told you The Athletic, a great subscription service, Monday reported Harbaugh's leaving Michigan if he gets an NFL offer. That's what they're reporting. Their reporting's usually accurate. Here we know David Tepper has met with Harbaugh and his people. David Tepper's the rich guy. I think he's the richest owner in the NFL, first, second, third richest guy. He's met with Harbaugh and his people. So this is real. I will say this, though, from a Michigan perspective. Michigan was behind Ohio State for about 20 years. They have been. They're finally on equal footing. Maybe you could argue because they have a clear offensive identity, maybe they have a slight edge on Ohio State. If Harbaugh leaves and they whiff on the next hire, and they've done that multiple times, they will be a doormat for the Buckeyes in 1 year. You also have Lincoln Riley and USC in that offense coming to the Big Ten. So 2 of the last 3 hires for Michigan football have been whiffs. And I looked at a list yesterday of the possible replacements. It was weak. I mean, I like David Shaw, but he replaced Harbaugh in Stanford. Last couple of years, it's been bad. Matt Campbell at Iowa State, I think he's a very good coach. Last year, without Brock Purdy, they were terrible. Bill O'Brien, solid, but he's not Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh has massive leverage. If he gets an offer, he's taking it, according to The Athletic. And Michigan is not only relevant for the first time in a long time, they're really good. And this has to be considered. I mean, Notre Dame, I thought, did a very good job replacing Brian Kelly. Marcus Freeman's young, energy, good-looking, great recruiters. Players loved him. They went from a national championship kind of conversation to 9 wins. Everybody's playing 12 and 13 games. 9 wins. Couldn't beat USC. 9 wins. In Southern schools, it's different. There are far more great high school football players in Georgia, Bama, Florida, Texas, Southern California than there are in Northern schools. A lot of times, warm weather schools just have to ask a recruit to come to their school. You have to sell a warm weather athlete to go play in the cold. So LSU has hired 2 coaches they had to fire, Les Miles and Ed Orgeron, and they both still won national titles. Ed Orgeron was viewed kind of as a mistake, and he won a national title. I could argue that Joe Burrow team's the best college football team of all time. It's in a short list of top 2 or 3. And Ed Orgeron's not considered an elite college coach. So you can miss in the South and still get the 9-10 wins, win a natty. Michigan hires the wrong coach. They're a 6-win team in a year. Fast. Northern schools miss, punitive. Southern schools miss. If the guy can recruit like Ron Zook, the next guy comes in, Urban Meyer, and wins some titles. So the Big Ten TV contract is brand new, and it kicks in July. If I was Michigan, I'd think long and hard about being outbid by the Carolina Panthers. The money right now in the Big Ten is massive. It's still one of the only basketball conferences that matter. The football conference is hugely popular. The ratings are going up. Here comes UCLA. Here comes Lincoln Riley and USC. Spend the money. 2 of the last 3 hires for Michigan. Michigan's a unique school. Ann Arbor's a unique community. Rich Rod just didn't fit at all. Brady Hoke didn't fit. Harbaugh, sometimes awkward, works. So this is really interesting. The Athletic reported Monday, if he gets an offer, he's out. I told you when that athletic director made him redo his contract and take a pay cut, that's like unprecedented. Remember the one time Saban lost to Auburn? I think it was that kick return game. And Alabama boosters got a little high and mighty for about 5 minutes. Oh, no, if we need Nick Saban. He got the Texas offer 15 minutes later. Not only did Bama sign him to a record contract, eventually one of the boosters had to give him a Mercedes dealer and buy him a house on a lake in Georgia. Although they had to pay off his mortgage. Don't matter. If you get a top coach, and there's about 8 great ones, don't ask them for pay cuts. Take care of them. There's very little great in the world. NFL's got 5 good owners. NFL's got 5 great quarterbacks. NFL's got 5 or 6 great coaches, 5 or 6 great coordinators. Not a lot of great out there. Harbaugh's great. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.